When I was a child, my parents and I moved into an old Victorian house in the countryside. It was huge with a sprawling garden, Gothic spires, and intricate wooden carvings inside. But there was one thing that stood out from the rest: a long, dimly lit hallway on the second floor. From the moment we moved in, that hallway gave me the creeps. It was colder than the other rooms, and there was a constant feeling of being watched. Sometimes as I would walk through it, I would hear soft, almost inaudible whispers. One night, as I lay in my bed, I was roused by the sound of footsteps echoing from the hallway. Assuming it was one of my parents, I ignored it, but the footsteps grew louder and closer. Curiosity overcoming my fear, I tiptoed to the door and peeked out. To my horror, I saw a shadowy figure gliding down the hallway. It was a woman in a tattered white dress, her long dark hair covering her face. Her feet weren't touching the ground. She was floating. Frozen in fear, I watched as she stopped right in front of my door. Slowly, her head tilted up, and even though her face was obscured, I knew she was looking right at me. She whispered, "Help me," her voice echoing hauntingly down the hall. Suddenly, she vanished, leaving me petrified. I bolted to my parents' room, but they dismissed it as a dream. The next day, I did some research at the local library. To my shock, I found a black and white photograph of a woman who looked eerily similar to the ghost I had seen. The article beside her picture told of a tragic tale of a woman named Eleanor who had lived in our house over a century ago. She had been heartbroken over the loss of her lover and had taken her life in that very hallway. From then on, I would sometimes hear Eleanor's soft cries and the echo of her footsteps. I realized she wasn't malevolent, just trapped in her eternal sorrow. We moved out a few years later, but the memories of the echoing hallway and its tragic resident will forever haunt my dreams.